Hello, my name is Kevin Heaney. I'm actually work in the Chicago Board of Trade in the pits here, so it's kind of funny. I decided to, I had never done any programming before this, so one of the things I thought about was getting into learning about Python to get out of this building, and it's kind of funny that I'm right now back in here. So I appreciate, even though thank you very much to Peak 6 for hosting us. So I started out when deciding with my project, I wanted to go with something that I had passion about, and so I started with horse racing. Very involved in it. That's actually my horse there, number 4. His name is Shiver Me Timbers. And so horse racing has a lot of data. Obviously, the time, the place, breeding, different lineages, things like that. So I figured there was so much data that I'd be able to come up with interesting things that I could figure out. The problem was that I sort of had a lack of direction. I thought the data would dictate or kind of guide me somewhere, and I didn't really know where I was going, and I thought it was going to tell me something. And so the first thing that I learned at this point was just because you're passionate about something doesn't mean that it's going to make a good project, and also that you need to kind of have a goal and a destination and questions in mind to kind of solve things. So at this point, my mentor and I met, and we decided to turn around and try and figure something else out. So at this point, my mentor Lee and I talked about it, and what we decided to do was go with a web scraping app to get onto Amazon and take reviews and make kind of a word cloud for all the reviews, so that way you could just go through different Python books and not have to read every single review. So some of the things I used Beautiful Soup and requests and things like that, and so I kind of learned about user agents, and it took me some time locating reviews and things like that, and I had to learn about Beautiful Soup, which I had never done any of this kind of stuff before. So I ran into some problems when I was trying to find these reviews. And what I couldn't do was, for some reason, I couldn't pull it off the website. I could find where it was in the JavaScript, which I had to learn and things like that, but I couldn't find it. So at this point, what I did do was I didn't stop. With encouragement from Ali, I went to a simple website and started to pull text off of there. And so I figured out that what I was coding with, what I was doing was technically correct. So I kept going down that path. At the same time, while I was kind of stuck at that point, I went and started to build my word cloud to try and figure out how to do that. And again, since I didn't have my reviews, I kind of use some sort of list that I just kind of made up and made a word cloud with it, which really kind of helped. So unfortunately, I stumbled a lot, ran into a lot of obstacles, but as they say, you learn the most from failure. So apparently I must have learned a lot. And again, things I would have done differently, I would have started with a simple question to answer. And one thing that I kind of learned was when I was going along, if you have a question, and you solve it or answer it or come up with an idea, you learn a lot from that about your project or whatever you're trying to do, and you can then deviate from there. I probably would have used more packages to try and help me and things like that. Some of the things that I would have done to take it further would allow, eventually, I'm going to keep working on this, but be able to change the topic of the book. So instead of just Python, you could type in any different type of thing you want. And then obviously getting reviews from different websites, not just Amazon and things like that. So, it was a great experience for me. Big thanks to Ali. And, if this project's main goal was to come up and solve something, I'd probably failed. But if it was to meet a new community and to grow and to learn a lot, then I think I was a pretty big success. So, some other things that I learned, Be persistent. Don't stop wherever your obstacle is, and rely on your mentor. And I'd just like to thank everybody, and especially to Ali.